Do you see the intro?
Yep. Hello, everyone. How's it going? It's Robert Earl White, and I'm here with my great friend, Anthony Esemplare. And tonight we have something amazing for all of you. We have been recording this strange anomaly that we are calling the Scarlet Pulse. It's very strange. I'm going to pull Anthony in right now. How's it going, Anthony?
Good to see you, bro.
Good to see you. Yeah, so the Scarlet Pulse. It's been something that Anthony has recorded now 3 nights in a row, 3 different nights. This mysterious anomaly that has been in the same spot of the sky, not moving. So, Anthony, now that we have you there, for everyone that's watching, welcome. Please hit that like button, subscribe to the page, and make sure you share this video because we're trying to get it out there. I believe Anthony has stumbled upon something remarkable. What that is, we have not a clue. So, Anthony, tell us about this Scarlet Pulse.
Yeah, so a couple nights ago, actually New Year's Eve, I set out to go out and just film the sky like I always do. And I was filming in 25-minute intervals. I had the camera set up. And strangest thing happened. I picked up this anomaly, this flash of light that most ufologists would refer to as a flashbulb in the sky. I mean, we've all seen them before, but the strange thing about this anomaly was over that 25-minute period, it shined a total of 8 times every 90 seconds. So every 90 seconds, I got a pulse. What made it even stranger was as the Earth is rotating and the stars are shifting in space, primarily Orion is what I was focused on, Orion's belt. This pulse stood in the same fixed position in space, which would have to contemplate that it would have to be under some kind of intelligent control because everything in space is in orbit. And for an object to remain stationary in the same position in the sky over all that time, it would have to be under intelligent control. There's no other way to wrap your head around how it could stay stationary like that. So we have some footage here for everybody that I'm going to go ahead and play. The first one is going to be, it's about 2 minutes and change long. So Robert and I will stay on the screen and it'll be up here with us. But you're going to watch in the bottom left-hand corner, you're going to see this flash of light. And then the video is going to speed up. You're going to watch Earth rotate, the stars slowly drift off, but the pulse remains there. I have it circled for you. So this is like 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Check this out. So right now, top right-hand side, those 3 star clusters, that's Orion. Okay. Then to the bottom left, when that circle pops up, you're going to see that red flash of light. This is this strange anomaly that we're trying to figure out what it is. Now, we've had 2 scientists so far and 3 astronomers. One of the astronomers is a doctor who looked into this, and they have no idea. They've never seen anything like this before. They're just fascinated. There's the pulse again. Now, it gets stranger because some pulses are like a split second, and some of them are longer, like a flashlight turning on and off very slowly. It's almost as if I'm being signaled, is what it reminds me of. Like, look how long that pulse is right there. Very strange.
Yeah, and like you said, the amount of force it takes to be stationary in space is it takes so much energy.
Tremendous.
And it's so strange. Same exact spot, but different speeds of the flash, different brightness of the flash.
Correct. And you can see how far already Orion's belt it drifted off to the right. Because after you see the flash, the video's speeding up like 7-8 times the speed. And you're watching the planets drift with the rotation of Earth. That anomaly stays in that same exact spot. Now, I'm doing this 26 years. I've seen the flash bulb before in all different sectors of the sky. You get one flash every now and then, but, you can antiquate that to like a pulsar or maybe a star dying like a supernova. But that's the same exact object over and over and over for a 25-minute period. Now, that was January 1st, New Year's Day. Okay. The next night, I say to myself, well, as a scientist, I have to catch this more than once, right? So let
Yeah.
me go out, set up in the exact same position that I was in, and see if I can bang this object again. And lo and behold, I catch it again for 2 pulses over like a 15-minute period. So this video is only 27 seconds long, and you're going to see the light flash 3 times in the same exact spot we just seen it. So I'll let this roll for you. All right, so that's again on the 2nd of January. Then the 3rd of January, it was cloudy because both Robert and I said, you know what, let's both go out and try to catch this object together. You try in New Jersey, and I'll try here on Staten Island. Now, Robert, you had overcast by you the 3rd, right? So
Yeah.
you get it. And then the 4th, you went out with me, you tried to get it. But again, due to light pollution and just positioning of the stars and not really sure what the exact latitude and longitude, I gave you a lat and longitude that was correct, spot on. But for whatever reason, your light pollution situation just didn't afford you to see it with the 4K camera. I'm using night vision. So on the 4th, I catch it again for 2 pulses, same exact spot. And now, just to show you how powerful this beam of light is, there's overcast by me. And I'm using a Psionics night vision camera, which is a color night vision camera that's very powerful, 720p. It's high quality color night vision. And I'm able to see this pulse in deep space through the cloud bank. All right. So this is only 2 seconds long. So I'll play it 2 or 3 times so you see it. But here it is again for the 3rd consecutive time, 3 days in a row. So there it is in the far left corner. I'll do it again. Flashes twice. Now, as a ufologist, as a scientist, I have no explanation for what I'm seeing. I have a few theories going through my head. Could a craft be positioned in space and it's just there and we're catching a signal from it? Could maybe a comet or a meteorite be hurtling to Earth and we're catching it as it's tumbling and reflecting light back some way? Maybe something it's burning off, we're catching every 90 seconds. I really don't know. Now, a couple astronomer friends of mine say nothing is in that area. And for those that don't understand, that sector of space is known as the Winter Triangle. So you're looking through Procyon, Betelgeuse or Betelgeuse, however you want to pronounce it, and Sirius. And directly in the center where that circle is the red dot. So that's right where this anomaly breaks off. It's basically off the shoulder of Orion.
And
So,
that's an excellent picture, Anthony. Put that back up, a point I want to make to everyone.
there you go.
As you can see, the dark black rectangle that you see, that is Anthony's screen. That is his video. What he did, he took his video, overlaid it with a star map to triangulate the exact location of this flash. So to let you all know, if you're looking for this at a certain time of night, this is where it would be. And what was that time of night, Anthony, when you recorded this?
Night 1 was at 7 p.m. Eastern. Night 2 was at 7:45 to 8:15. And then the 4th night, because we skipped night 3, was also about 7:45 in the evening that I captured that. And each time was 25 minutes of recording time. I kept everything the exact same. Position, lat and longitude, the position of stars in the sky I faced, the whole 9 yards. I just kept the same.
Mm-hmm.
Now we're going to try a few different things this week, you and I, to see if we can attempt to catch this again. We're going to see if when Orion shifts out of position totally, more like 10 o'clock at night, if I set up exactly where I set up is this anomaly just stationary in the sky? No matter what star system is there, do we still see the light? And that's going to be interesting, because if we see the light when Orion leaves and we have a totally different set of stars in front of us now, right? But I'm in that same zone where I'm filming, that has to mean it's an object of some kind that's just sitting there stationary
Yeah.
under its own intelligent control.
Which is, I mean, regardless of what this is, if it's something natural, it's an anomaly in itself of,
right.
Great significance, breakthrough. It's something new. It's something that doesn't happen. It's not normal by any means. And, the countless strange things we've seen happening, this one really has our heads spinning, and all the possibilities. And, so interesting, the location of it, and being so close to Orion. But like you said, and we were talking about this today, it would be nice, say 10 o'clock, 12 o'clock at night, when other stars are there and Canis Major is pushed way above it. What
Right.
other star systems would it still be there? Is it the question we're trying to figure out, is this thing in a extremely slow orbit? I mean, slower than everything else, or is it absolutely stationary? But the fact that, 3 different nights and about within a week span, because of weather and clouds blocking the sky, you've captured this thing in the same spot.
Yeah.
That is
That's
weird.
that's what baffles me. And it's very confusing, because, like, look, if this was an object hurtling through space towards Earth, the pulse would remain the same. So in other words, like every 90 seconds, if you've seen it flash for a split second, that means every pulse should be a split second, because it's on the same trajectory, reflecting whatever light or burning off whatever gas it is through space. But clearly it's not doing that, because the pulse patterns don't match. Some are a split second, some are a full second, some are almost 2 seconds, like a second and 3/4. None of that makes sense, which makes me think that this is an object of some kind, stationary in space. Now, is it an extraterrestrial object? I don't know. Could it be one of our objects? I really don't know. Now, we know what the International Space Station looks like in space. We've seen it a million times. We've filmed it. It moves with Earth's orbit. This is why this is so confusing. This object is not moving with Earth's orbit. It's just
Even
staying
space
on its
junk
own power. Yes.
Comets,
Yes.
meteorites, everything moves. Planets are literally moving. The entire universe is moving in a circular pattern. It doesn't make sense to have this anomaly just holding still. And as far as a possible signal would go, like you said, the flashes, there's no rhyme or reason when it comes to timing. But what
Right.
is interesting, maybe the signal isn't like Morse code, flash,
Right.
flash, flash. Maybe that's not it. Maybe it's the brightness of those flashes. The speed
That-
of them could be its own signal that we have no clue or understanding or comprehension to even remotely possibly figure out what is the signal. What's the
Right.
message? I'm not even going to go down that, because
It's confusing.
we don't
Now,
know.
myself, Robert, and our partner Mike Patrick, we started an organization called Project Horizon. Okay, and this is for UFO triangulation and data collection. This is primarily what we're working on right now, using a UFO DAP system, a MADAR system, psionics, FLIR, and other high-end camera systems and data collection systems. Okay. Next, we're going to try to incorporate all those systems that we have to implement what this object is. But that's not all. We're also calling out to all you amateur astronomers out there. We want to get as many amateur astronomers as possible to get an eye in the sky with your telescopes. We will give you a fixed location in the sky to look, and we want to see if you're able to pick this up. Now, some of you guys and girls out there have telescopes that are $120,000 telescopes. I mean, I have some friends that have some seriously powerful systems, like my friend Mark D'Antonio. He has like 8 or 9 high-end telescopes that are like NASA grade. But even if you just have a regular $50 telescope, we want to get you out there fixed on this position to see it in the sky. So maybe sometime this week we'll get a call to action and see how many of you we can get out there at the same time as us and see who can pick up this anomaly. Now with telescopes, you're going to able to see a lot more than I could see with a night vision camera. You're going to get a deeper look into the atmosphere of deep space and maybe get a little better triangulation on the object. Maybe you'll even get to see an actual object, being that you're using a telescope. So we would like to call as many amateur astronomers as possible and scientists. If you have a science background in any way, shape, or form that covers space, maybe you can assist us with solving this, because we're at our wits' end. We've done what we can do by catching it, but now categorizing the data and a full analysis is what really needs to be done. I mean, what do you think?
And I have a telescope. The hardest part, when you're looking at a telescope, you have to be extremely accurate. You don't have such a wide field of view. I'm hoping to use one that's not as intense of a magnification in order to get a wider setup and try to put it in the area, I think. But because I'm still looking for it, once I see it, I still have, probably 40 minutes worth of video just from last night. And you have to really slow it down and really, really pay attention to catch something that's happening. So
I'm glad you brought that point up. Keep in mind that when I'm reviewing hours of footage, I literally have to go into like an edit program and keep my finger on the mouse and slowly scroll through the footage painstakingly for hours to even catch these little blips. Some of them are so fast that if the camera's just rolling, you won't even see it, because the frame rate, 30 frames per second or 60 frames per second, is just too fast to even catch it.
You would just think it's a twinkling star, to the visible eye.
Right. And I know we're not the only ones that caught this. Somebody else has footage right now from January 1st, 2nd, and 4th with this anomaly on it. So if anybody was filming on January 1st, 7 o'clock to 8 o'clock at night, the 2nd, we'll say the same time, and the 4th, the same time, and you were filming towards Orion, scroll through your footage and see if you
have it.
Blips. You might have it. And the more people that have that, it just advances more proof, more credible evidence and documentation. And we need as much more of it as we can get.
Yeah. And I know once I find it and it does pop up and I know exactly where it is, then I can really hone in on it and, set up multiple cameras zoomed in just to that position. But it's truly remarkable. So everyone, put down in the comments, what do you think this could be? There's no wrong answer, because at this point, no one knows what it is, including Anthony and I. Project Horizon, we're working on it, but right now, all we can do is document this and try to capture it as many times as we can on different kinds of cameras, etc. Right?
And, keep in mind, in recent years, the field of ufology has garnered increasing attention, sparking curiosity and skepticism. And as we delve into this intriguing subject, it's crucial that we approach it with dignity and the respect that it deserves. The explanation of unidentified flying objects, UFOs, and the potential existence of extraterrestrial life should be treated with the same scientific rigor that we apply to space travel and any other scientific inquiries, okay? The possibility here lies that extraterrestrial life might just be right in front of us, and it'll only take some scientists and astronomers to assist us in this endeavor to finally catch it in real time. So this could be one of those groundbreaking aha moments, like, got ya, here's the proof. We just need the scientific brains behind it to help us. That's it, So if you're out there and you're interested, please hit us up.
Absolutely. And Anthony, can you play that video again? I want everyone, the longer one.
Yes.
With the multiple flashes, just as we're talking about it. So yeah, during, the first night, Anthony and I, we just thought it was a one-off thing, something very strange. But each additional night that he's recorded this, our intrigue has just went through the roof, and we've speculated so many different things. But I believe it is concerning for this one main reason. The fact we keep saying this object appears to be stationary. And
Yeah.
for something to be able to do that, and the possibility that this is something that is locked onto us in a way we can see it, can imply that it's something completely still, but that doesn't even make sense because the earth is spinning. So even if something was still, it should still, move around. So
Right.
the fact it's the mathematics that it takes for an object to stay still in our sky and go around us perfectly is really, really, really difficult.
It's
And
almost impossible when you
yeah,
think of it, right?
it's
It's gotta be like
almost
a 1 in a trillion chance. This
yeah.
is if it like, seriously, it has to be an object. It has to have something that has mass and has intelligent control in any way, shape, or form. Now, just because something's under intelligent control doesn't mean it has to be extraterrestrial. Maybe it's a rock, a meteor hurtling to Earth, and every now and then it just burns different gases off, and that's what we're seeing, and that's why the pulse is long sometimes and then a short burst sometimes. There's so many different rhymes and reasons to what this could be, but in my heart of hearts, I would love to believe that it's an
Well,
extraterrestrial craft sitting out
another great point, you're recording this off of Staten Island. Okay.
there.
You're right near New York City. Here in Jersey, when I look at it, it's right over the Atlantic Ocean. And if you look at where it's facing, could it be Space Force that has created something to always hover, to always have eyes? See, satellites with cameras, they
Yeah.
go around. They can't get a satellite to hold still, to have a constant eye on something. Could it be possible that the Space Force has put something up there and is using that force and energy that the public has no idea that exists? And could they be using that so they can have a constant eyes on Washington, D.C., New York City, and the East Coast?
Dude, you just brought up so many valid points. Reverse engineering craft, for example. All right, I'm gonna pull something up real quick. Give me a second.
Yeah, man, it really just makes you wonder, but I'm to the notion that no matter what this thing is, it's something remarkable. It has to be.
They have been saying for years that we have captured craft and reverse engineered them. What if this is a reverse engineered object in space that the government finally got their hands on, got working? They have it in low Earth orbit or just wherever, and it's at a fixed position that can constantly change itself on the dime and just stay fixed, locked in a geolock right in that position in space. And just by some strange manner of happenstance, I happened to catch it and then start bringing all these other people in to witness it with me. And thank God I did that. So nobody could say
And
nothing, but because we all seen it now.
and that's something to point out too to the average person that doesn't have cameras pointing towards the sky 20 to 30 minutes a night in one specific line of view. If you just saw this thing flash once, you most likely wouldn't be looking 3 to 5 minutes later and see it flash again, you know?
Absolutely.
And people that are even recording it and don't know they've recorded, they wouldn't notice it with it being, if it was a constant thing, everyone would notice. It would be a big strobe light saying, hey, look at me. But it just goes to show how, like, just by taking the time, and we both do this, the amount of hours we spend freezing our butts off in the wind, the cold, looking at the sky to see what's going on, to come across these strange little things, it takes a lot to notice something that just is a blip,
Now,
very
now this
difficult.
this diagram, this hand-drawn diagram we're looking at, this is not Bob Lazar's sports model, but just to show you kind of like a quick rough sketch, this is a sketch of like a reverse engineered UFO. Okay, and if we use the same technology that Bob spoke about, where it has these gravity wave emitters below them, that when these cans change direction, it could keep that object suspended anywhere it wants in our reality or any other reality or dimension that it wants to go in. Now, just imagine the government really got their hands on one of these objects. Let's take like what David Grush said, that we have extraterrestrial biologics in their crafts. We've had crash retrievals and for years. Let's just say, for example, we actually have this stuff, and now they're working with it. What would it look like to us filming and looking for UFOs? Would it look like what I filmed, sitting stationary in space and just sending out this pulse every now and then? Mind you, regular 4K cameras have not picked that pulse up yet. Only night vision, the night vision color spectrum, is the only camera that's picked that up yet, which means it's not visible to the human eye, because then the 4K cameras would pick that up. My other cameras would get that. Only the night vision is picking that up. So that's a whole nother spectrum of light that you're seeing that in, which is even stranger, which it really makes you start contemplating what this object can be.
Is there a giant invisible, or I shouldn't say invisible, a giant city in the sky that is vibrating at a higher frequency to the point where it's not visible to the human eye spectrum, and it's just sitting up there? Who knows? Who knows? It could be anything. Could be like, I remember saying that at first. I'm like, could be a birth of a star. That would be pretty neato. A birth of a black hole, like, because black holes have, well, they actually have a pretty constant hum. Woom, woom,
right.
woom.
But when they roll through space,
yeah,
all the life in with it, all the other star systems surrounding, and you see that. You see all the stars and everything getting pulled into the black hole. That's how you can define where it is in space, right? I think if it was a black hole or a quasar or something, we would be able to see that. And especially if it was like a supernova, and the flash that would put off, it would put the sun in the night sky, basically.
Something I'm thinking about, you know how it's been in the dead part of space where there isn't really much of anything?
Yeah.
That's kind of weird too, right? That this anomaly is happening in such a dead zone. And that's why I'm like, not necessarily maybe a birth of a star or a birth of a black hole, but it could be a birth of something we don't even know yet.
Very true.
I mean, an astronomical birthing of something. I mean, I always wonder how the universe was created and how that process could work. And could with a lighter, the first couple sparks, could this thing just be sparking off before the flame gets ignited? I don't know. It's weird, man. It's fun to think about.
It's very, very weird, and it'll keep you up at night thinking. I mean, it really, it's just totally strange what's going on right now. And some people will be like, bullshit, it's just a flash in the sky, a big deal. It is a big deal. It really is a big deal, because the way these things work, when you catch something that's only visible in a specific light spectrum, that's huge. I don't think people understand how big that is. For example, the other night, I went out with a night vision camera and a FLIR camera, filming the sky like I do every night. And I said, you know what? I want to show an example of the night vision and the FLIR. And if I happen to catch a UFO on one or the other, I want to show how it's only visible on one and not the other. And after a couple nights trying to do that, it happened. I caught an object on the FLIR camera that was not visible on the night vision camera or on my 4K camera, which means this object was giving off some kind of heat intensification, and that's why the FLIR picked it up. Check this out. Oh, I got it. Oh, I got it. Now, You're looking at a bona fide, unidentified flying object. All right. Yes, it looks like a small blob of light flying through, right? But the FLIR camera and the psionics are filming the same spot in the sky. They're literally side by side each other. And the night vision did not see what the FLIR camera saw.
I loved your reaction, Anthony.
Oh,
Ooh,
I
I got
got it.
it. Ooh,
So
I
I'm,
got
I'm
it.
looking at the FLIR, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh, it is so fun. Because after hours of looking, finally something, goes through and it's not on both frames.
And it just makes you wonder, and that's why thermals, full spectrum cameras, night visions, it's so important to use because it really helps us realize there's a lot happening that we can't see with our visible eyes.
Very
And to
true.
not have it on the psionics, but to have it on the thermal. And I was telling you when you first showed me that video, I said, Anthony, if you would have only had the flare, the thermal one,
It would,
without the other
it would
camera,
counted.
it
Yeah,
it's worthless. That's why
it
it's so
really.
important to have multiple documentation of things because it really gives, credence, validation that hey, there was nothing there.
And more to the point, on the FLIR camera and the night vision, you can watch the clouds roll
Yep.
down both at the, so it's the same time, the same frame. It's looking at the same thing because you watch the clouds go down on both. I mean, you got to pay attention on the FLIR, but
You
if
do
you look,
notice
you
after
see it.
the second or third watch and watching the clouds in the first one, you do see that
Yeah, you see them
thin,
both go down.
wispy layer lines coming
Go
right
down the
down.
same
And I'm
time.
like, yeah, that's the same video. Hard to
And
tell, but it is.
the same night, I don't know, maybe 3-4 hours later, I decide to go back out. So now it's like, I don't know, 3 o'clock in the morning or whatever. And that's the night I caught that orb in the sky on the night vision super fast.
Oh yeah, that
You,
fast mover, boy.
you
Ooh.
want me to
Yeah,
play
pop
that
it
one?
up. Yeah,
Now
you
it has
got it.
music on it, but I have the license for it. I'll give you after the show to pop
Okay.
in. Here we go. Oh, maybe it doesn't have music on it.
Good.
Maybe I muted it. So anyway, I picked this object up. Just note how fast this is traveling as it passes the stars. That thing is booking, okay?
Mm-hmm.
That's moving. When you see a sat, now mind you, Robert and I use all these apps that determine where all the satellites are, and we know this ain't a satellite because we looked. We know it's not a plane because there's no FAA lights. This is in space, okay? The color of it, look at the different colors undulating through this thing, the speed. This is a 100% bona fide plasma orb. These are one of those plasmoids that everybody's talking about. And this is what they should look like. They shouldn't be just stationary, fixed in the sky, not moving. When you see that, that's people filming stars and misidentifying what stars are. If you see an actual orb, an actual plasma orb, it should be in motion when it's flying. I filmed some of these that are so amazing right before they get to the ocean. A lot of these are over the ocean, but like right before they get to the surface of the ocean, they totally disappear.
Oh yeah.
Have you ever had that experience?
Constantly. So many times. It's not that because I've seen them where I'm recording them and they get directly above me and
Yeah.
I say they just burn out. They poof.
I
They'll
have
be so bright and not like a slow like dim out or just turn off.
I actually have one here. Let me see if I can pop this out real quick. The first time this happened to me, it was so crazy. You're just filming, you see an object coming through and
Mm-hmm.
getting ready to touch the water. And then all of a sudden, that object disappeared right before my eyes. Like I'm watching it come in low the whole time, like rooftop height, like coming from space.
Mm-hmm.
And then it's now over somebody's house. And it got to that point, got maybe like, I don't know, 8 to 10 feet over the ocean and just turned off, totally disappeared. It's no longer on the camera. Now, you explain that to me, how that can be a man made object. I love when you get these so-called debunkers that want to debunk everybody's work. Oh no, that's a man-made object, or it's a balloon. Like I'm like, get out of here. I'm sorry, you just don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
People just don't know what they're talking about. It's sad.
Yeah. And to see them disappear, and I don't have eyes on the ocean. lot of these orb sightings, they are heading towards the ocean, and sometimes, especially in the morning, the ones I see seem always like they're going back home for the night, time to dive deep into the ocean or something. But I've seen a lot disappear, or this happens to me a lot. I see a massive bright one coming. I go to get my camera ready, start filming. Second I lock on it, gone. Like, you're not recording me.
I'm loading this video right now. So keep in mind, I start filming when this object comes in, and now it's like at rooftop height. So it's one of these plasmoid orbs. It's a very short video, but here it is. And then just turned off. I'll do it one more time. Now explain that to me.
Yeah.
How do you explain that?
If it was a bird, a balloon, you would have seen it until it was out of frame. It wouldn't just
First off,
turn off.
Birds, balloons, they have very distinct features to them. This camera, you see the wing flap. I mean, it's a bird. Even way high up in the sky, over 1,000 feet, it's a bird. You still see the wing flap. Just the whole pattern, and it's a bird. Planes, helicopters, they have FAA lights. You see that strobe light very intensely on these cameras from over 30,000 feet. You can pin them out in a blink. This thing is one of those plasma orbs. And then before it went transmedium. That's the term I'm going to use. It went transmedium. Right before it got to the water, it shut off whatever it shut off. And my honest theory is maybe the craft changed so now it can operate in the ocean. Is what I'm thinking. Like it turned another system on to go.
Changed its frequency.
Something. It powered off and powered something else on to operate in the ocean, because that thing definitely went in the water. 100%.
You could see it was heading downward.
I'll do it again. Yeah, I'll do it again. You're talking 18, 20 feet before it hit the ocean.
And that thing is low. It's low.
And big, too. It's a big ball. That's not the size of a baseball or a basketball. That's like the size of a small car flying through. Big.
It was large. I mean, think about like the ones we record way, way up in the sky that are big, but they still look so small. To have one that close and that large. Whoa.
These videos never give you scale because they're like never next to anything to get the size of it. That was next to a tree.
And the houses at the bottom really help too.
Measure that tree size and then the object next to it and get the size. It's like the size of a small car, or maybe a golf cart would be a better size comparison. It's like the size of a golf cart. That object. That's pretty big.
And it's crazy. And we definitely hope to, gain more evidence and more data on this strange red flashing anomaly, the Scarlet pulse that you've been recording. And kind of going back to one more thing about that, we were talking about how it could possibly be the birthing of something, but something kind of popped in my mind. I'm like, which is kind of scary. I'm not like fear mongering, but I mean, some things can kind of be scary. Like what if it's like the birthing of antimatter, antimatter, or something like dark matter, like that's terrifying. I mean, it may not affect us here, but the problem is, Anthony, we don't know how close this thing is to us. We don't know.
Black hole.
Yeah.
What if that happens when a black hole starts to form? You start getting these pulses, and next thing you know, there's a tear in the fabric of space that's sucking everything in. These are theories.
Yeah.
No stretch of the imagination do we know. We're just theorizing right now. Speculation.
So everyone put your theories in the comment, and I would love to hear it.
We're all out.
There's no wrong answer. You could say it's a spaghetti monster in space, and we're like, it could be, because we don't know.
I don't know what that is, and every time I look at it, it just... And again, we're in the early stages of this, and we just keep showing it to as many people as we possibly can because we really want answers. We really want somebody to help us out with
And
this.
also, I want to point out for anyone that may say, well, what does a dying star look like? Well, that real bright star that you see right there, the top shoulder of Orion's constellation, the Betelgeuse one. That star is slowly dying out, and you see it on the camera. Yep. And that star is slowly dying out and does do sorts of flickering. But in the video, you clearly see it and what that looks like versus this. It's not a dying star. Dying stars don't do that. Betelgeuse, that star is doing that, and you can see clearly in the video what that looks like
Well,
versus this anomaly.
it would be all over the news too when that star dies. NASA will come out and give a speech. They'll show you the footage that the Hubble got on it and all of that stuff.
Yeah.
If this would have been something like that, you would have heard about it all over the news. The fact that I'm showing this to scientists and people that, astronomers for NASA, and they just don't know what it is, that's even more.
People
like,
seeing
wow,
it for the first time is
something
alarming.
Yeah.
It's
So
weird to show it to astronomer and they're like, we've never seen anything like this before. That's weird.
Mark D'Antonio, and I'm sure everybody knows Mark from the History Channel, right? First time I showed it to Mark, his exact words were, now this is interesting. Now, I've never seen anything like that before. And, he's looking into it. It's going to take time. But just the fact that we discovered something right now that they don't know what it is, that's so interesting to me. That's like a proud moment when you discover something like that, right? It's pretty cool.
And it gives us more of a reason to keep watching the sky because you never know. It's never a dull moment. You never know what you could possibly catch or
Anytime.
Anytime.
I mean, I go out at all different times, and every time I go out, there's always something strange you're going to see. Half the time you solve it and you realize it was something man-made, but that didn't make it any less interesting to see in the sky. Mm-hmm. Sometimes I just go out and I watch, shooting stars all night. Sometimes you see 10, 12, 15 at a time. I mean, it's just beautiful. So, like, take some time and go out there and observe the sky. You never know what you're going to catch. It's the truth.
And it's great to have some time in Mother Nature. I love it, being out there at night, just gazing at the beauty of the entire universe. I love that feeling, Anthony, of being so small.
Yeah.
I enjoy it. It makes some people, uncomfortable to think that we're nothing but a speck of sand floating on a rock through an endless universe. It's kind of, if you're claustrophobic, you might not like that, but it's something amazing to me seeing the vastness of it all and just realizing how small we are. And I refuse to believe that we're the only things in something so large. My brain cannot compute that. When I look up at the stars, I see endless possibilities.
There's no way we're alone. There's no way. And if you think we're alone, you have to be pretty ignorant to think we're alone. There's more stars than there are grains of sand on Earth. So think about that. More planets than there are grains of sand. That's mind-boggling. If one of those planets have life on it, just one, that's it. That's really it.
Yep.
But anyway, we're going to stay on this. We're going to try to get more answers for everybody. As soon as we have updates, we will let you know. We had this on my channel the other day on Epic TV. We wanted to get it up on Robert's channel just to get as many eyes as possible. So please share this video out to your friends. Maybe they've seen something like this before and they can elaborate and they can bring us some information. We would really appreciate. Just put your comments in the comment section. Like Robert said, there's no wrong answers. If you know somebody that ever seen one of these flashes in the sky or a series of these flashes in the sky, send them our video and direct them to us so they can give us that information where they seen it in the sky, what time of year, by what star system they noticed it. We really need help with this, and we're calling out to the community for that. So it would be greatly appreciated.
Yes, everyone. To everyone that's watching, thank you so much. Please make sure you subscribe to Epic TV NY, my good friend Anthony Esemplare. We're doing some amazing work together. We have a lot of big news up and coming. So if you haven't subscribed to his YouTube channel, please do so. You can find that in the description, along with all of the information and a small write-up that Anthony did about this anomaly. You know, he's been writing about it, you know, collecting data,
Write a
trying
lot
to
better than
journal it. Yeah, but it's important to write and catalog the experiences as it happens. You know, that's how data works. So
and
make sure you go over there and check it out.
in a couple of maybe like in 2 or 3 weeks, Robert and I we're gonna have some stuff coming out. We're gonna actually be speaking, Robert and I, at the Spruce Pine UFO conference. So those tickets will be coming up in a couple of weeks, and we'll let you know about that as well.
Yeah, it's going to be awesome. A massive alien festival up in the mountains, thousands of people coming out. It's going to be nuts. So I'm really looking forward to that. And as soon as we have everything we need, I guarantee you every single video and post is going to be about that. Good promotion. So if all of you would finally like to come see me and say hi, that will be the place to do it. Same with Anthony. We're going to be rolling deep together and, you know, kicking in the doors on disclosure. And, you know, you got to remember, we are the disclosure. All of you that are watching, Anthony and I, we all have a responsibility to keep our eyes on the skies. You know, that's what it's about. So everyone, thanks again. Please share this, comment down below, and hit that like button, and check out the description for more information, and make sure you go subscribe to Anthony's page. We'll see you all next time. We're out.